Hello, my name is Shelby, and I am the Emergency Management Coordinator for Island County. Thank you for tuning in to our National Preparedness Month virtual event. Throughout September, we will be sharing videos, graphics, and posts relating to emergency preparedness. For our first hazard presentation, we will be covering the topic of earthquakes and tsunamis. So, what are earthquakes? Earthquakes are the result of vibrations being released from the Earth's crust. They can also be generated by volcanic eruptions. Earthquakes can damage infrastructure, including bridges and highways, interrupt the flow of services and goods, such as food delivery for grocery stores, and destroy property and homes. Washington is considered a high-risk area to earthquakes. Historically, Washington State has experienced significant earthquakes and will continue to experience earthquakes in the future. Earthquakes are most commonly measured by magnitude and intensity. Earthquake magnitude is measured using the moment magnitude scale. The Richter scale was used previously, but is no longer widely used due to inaccurate estimations for large magnitude earthquakes. Moment magnitude is based on the total energy released in an earthquake. Intensity is the shaking and damage caused by an earthquake. This value can vary from different locations for a variety of factors such as ground soil and liquefaction. The Mercalli intensity scale is used to measure the intensity of an earthquake. Next, let's talk about the Cascadia subduction zone. The Cascadia subduction zone is a 700-mile-long fault zone located approximately 60 to 80 miles off the western coastline. The Cascadia subduction zone is capable of severe earthquakes that would impact the entire west coast, as well as a subsequent tsunami that would inundate areas along the coastlines. This is sometimes called the Big One by news media. The impacts of a Cascadia zone event would be felt not only in Island County, but would include British Columbia, Washington, Oregon, and Northern California. So what about earthquakes in Island County? Both Whidbey and Camano Island have several fault lines that run through them. Uzzalotti Point Fault, at least 15 miles long, Strawberry Point Fault, also around 15 miles long, Devil's Mountain Fault Zone, 75 miles long, and the Southern Whidbey Island Fault, 90 miles long, to name a few. Any of these faults could produce a significant earthquake that would impact Island County. A high-resolution version of this map to the right is available on the Island County Department of Emergency Management website under the pull-down tab Local Hazards. Here's a brief overview of where the fault zones I mentioned in the last slide are located in Island County. Earthquakes can cause primary and secondary hazards. Along with ground movement and shaking, earthquakes can cause landslides, liquefaction, and/or surface ruptures. Earthquakes can also cause secondary hazards such as tsunamis, seiches, flooding, fires, and avalanches. So how do you prepare for an earthquake? What to do before an earthquake? Prepare your family. Do you have an emergency plan created for your family? Have you considered all individuals in your household, including those who may require additional assistance in your plan? Have you gathered emergency supplies and know where they are kept? Prepare your pets. Did you include your pets and/or animals in your emergency plan? Do you have a plan for them in the event you must evacuate and use a shelter that doesn't allow animals? Have you added items in your kit for your pet? Prepare your home. Have you secured heavy furniture such as bookcases, cabinets, and entertainment centers to the wall? Do you know where your water, electric, and gas valves are in the event that you need to turn them off following an earthquake or any damaging disaster? And have you ensured that heavy wall furniture, including pictures, paintings, and mirrors, are not hung over beds, couches, and other areas where people may sit? What to do during an earthquake? Drop, cover, and hold on. Get under a sturdy piece of furniture, such as a desk or a table. If you use a walker or a wheelchair, lock the wheels on your device until the shaking stops. Cover your head and neck with your arms. Stay on your knees or bend over to protect yourself. If you aren't near a table or a desk, you can hold on to furniture. If you are in bed, turn face down and cover your head and neck with a pillow. If you're in a vehicle, pull over and set your parking brake. Do not get into a doorway. This advice is outdated. And don't run inside. Lastly, what to do after an earthquake. Make sure to stay calm. Aftershocks are common after the main earthquake. Be prepared to drop, cover, and hold on if an aftershock occurs. Check to see if you're hurt. Once the earthquake is stopped, leave the building and go outside. If you are unharmed, try and help others evacuate the building or the structure. If you are unable to leave the building, or if you are trapped, send a text, bang on a wall, or use a whistle to alert someone to your location. Stay away from buildings, streetlights, and utility wires. If you're in a vehicle, avoid overpasses, utility wires in the roadway, and fallen trees. There are a few more things you should do after an earthquake. Check your home for structural damage. If you smell gas in your home or hear a hissing noise, leave the building and shut off the gas valve outside. Visually inspect utility lines and appliances for damage. Open cabinets carefully. Objects may have shifted during the earthquake. Listen to your weather radio or local news for emergency information and instructions. Keep an eye out for emergency alerts through your cell phone. Phone calls may be unreliable. Try sending a text to let someone know that you're okay. You can use your out-of-area contact to check in if you are unable to connect with people locally. Next, let's talk about tsunamis. A tsunami is a series of high-energy waves radiating out from a disturbance. Earthquakes may produce displacements of the seafloor that can set the overlying column of water into motion, initiating a tsunami. A tsunami is not a big single wave. It is often several waves that act more like a wave of rushing water. There are two types of tsunamis: local, with minimum warning time, and distance. These tsunamis may travel for hours across the ocean. Tsunami damage can include flooding and the disruption of transportation, power, communication, and water supplies. Tsunamis often occur after significant earthquakes, but they can also occur after large landslides or underwater volcanic eruptions. Due to Washington's high earthquake risk, tsunamis are a considerable threat to coastal communities. Island County has a Tsunami Inundation Map on the Local Hazards tab. And additional tsunami information can also be found on the Where Are My Hazards application. A high-resolution version of this map to the right is available on the Island County Department of Emergency Management website under the pull-down tab, Local Hazards. In the event of a tsunami predicted to affect Island County, a tsunami warning will be issued through the Emergency Alert System, also known as EAS. The EAS is the nation's public warning system and will broadcast through cable television, radio stations, and mobile devices such as cell phones. In the event of a tsunami warning, get away from the shoreline, move to higher ground, and move as far inland as possible. Evacuate as soon as you suspect or notice signs of an impending tsunami, such as draining of the shoreline waters that are not tide-related. And if you're in a boat, head out to sea. For more information about alerts and warnings, please visit the link below. The image on this slide explains the differences between warnings, advisories, watches, and information statements regarding tsunamis.